right. Well, thank you all for participating in our virtual icebreaker. I always like to see the different types of businesses and individuals we have here with us today. So thanks again, and we'll go ahead and get started. So a quick introduction. So some of you may have heard of us. I see a lot of familiar faces, but for those of you who are new to CIELO, I want to do a quick introduction as to who we are and what we do. So we're CIELO. We stands for the Community for Innovation, Entrepreneurship, Leadership, and Opportunities. We've been around since 2015, but we've been helping clients since 2012. We're a nonprofit organization helping aspiring entrepreneurs become business owners. We help you build and develop the entrepreneur mindset needed to help you achieve success. We provide the resources and guidance, and you provide the hard work and passion. And being that we are a nonprofit organization, all of our services are available at no cost to any of our clients. So what type of services do we offer here at CIELO? We do have a small business development training program, which we'll talk about in a little bit. We do have a monthly entrepreneur workshop series, which all of you are attending here today. We do offer one-on-one small business coaching as part of our programming. We do have a client navigation side to CIELO, and also we do support to business launch for all of our registered clients. We do have a microgrant program for CIELO's business startups. So for our clients who go through the small business development training program, they may be eligible for a small microgrant to help with startup expenses. And we also serve as a connection to small business resources and services. So I want to share some upcoming events that we do have. Starting next month, actually, April 23rd is our next session for the CIELO Small Business Startup Program. Take a journey on the entrepreneur roadmap to business launch. This is going to be a 6-week training program for entrepreneurs and startups. This includes 3 weeks of live classroom training, along with one-on-one business coaching. And topics include how to pick a business name, advertising on social media, introduction to business financials, and much, much more. Registration is now open, so if you were interested in participating or learning more about this program, feel free to email us at cielocommunity@cielocommunity.org, or you can click on the QR code on that flyer there to learn more about it. And also we'll drop the Eventbrite link, registration link on the chat as well. So if you want to learn, or if you want to register, or at least read more about it, we'll put that information on there as well too. We also have another upcoming event for any of you who are looking to learn more or want to start a childcare business. We have our upcoming info session on the OC Childcare Business Entrepreneur info session through Zoom. This is coming up on April 12th. So it's going to be held between 10 a.m. and 11:30. This is a virtual event held on Zoom. It's free, along with our previous programming also is free. But if you want to learn more about that, we also have the QR code here. We'll also drop the information in the chat for you to be able to look at that as well too. So some reminders in terms of this workshop.
Can you please go back one slide, please?
Sure.
One more. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So some workshop reminders for today. We are going to send a recap email by the end of the week. So all the information that we're going over today, we will actually send a recording of this actual workshop, and any materials that our guest speaker would be sharing. We'll also attach that to the workshop as well too, or to the email. Recording will be available, presentation deck available. Also, the guest speaker contact information will include on that email. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, or we'll also make sure to have a Q&A session at the end. So the whole point is that we want to make sure that you're able to enjoy this and be able to give your full attention to the guest speaker. We will also make sure to give you the recording. So feel free to take notes, but if there's some things that you miss, we'll make sure that we send it out to you as well too. All right, so that brings us to today's topic, which is maximizing profits through inventory management. And this is presented by our wonderful guest speaker, Jessica Anguiano from Small Business Majority. So this is something that Jessica does have expertise in. So I'm very excited to have her here and sharing on this topic. So with that said, Jessica, I'll go ahead and pass it on to you.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, everyone, for being present today and donating 1 hour of your time. Hopefully, you leave this presentation inspired and maybe learn a thing or two. So I'm going to go ahead and get started by sharing my screen here. Let's see. So once again, I want to say thank you so much to the CIELO team for having me here. It's always a pleasure to collaborate with you all. Today, as Alex said, we are going to be speaking about maximizing your profits through inventory management. I always like to say I have the longest title, the longest email, the longest name. So here we go. My name is Jessica Anguiano. I am the Southern California Senior Outreach Manager / Minority Entrepreneurship Programs Manager. Yes, that is my job title, and this is what I do for Small Business Majority. I also see familiar faces, but I also see some that I'm not familiar with. So let me just tell you a little bit about who I am and what I do here at Small Business Majority. As far as my background, this is one of the topics that I'm very passionate about. I actually come from the retail industry where I worked in sales, but I also was a visual merchandiser lead for both Target and Forever 21. So what that meant is I was responsible for leading a team that set up those beautiful displays for you to get distracted by when you go to the store for that gallon of milk and that you end up going for everything but that gallon of milk. Yep, I was behind that team. So there is a lot of strategy that goes behind it, but a lot of that also goes very connected to knowing what your inventory is and how you need to read your inventory in order for you to continue to maximize your profits and maximize your inventory and just make those sales intentionally. So before we dive into the fun stuff, let me just tell you a little bit about Small Business Majority. This is a nonprofit organization. There are 4 bucket areas where we focus. There is the research team who is constantly doing polling research to be able to identify any trends, any studies that could either support you or affect you with your business. So when it comes down to the advocacy piece, we can advocate for you and see how we could support you on the state, local, and federal level. If you ever are interested in becoming a spokesperson in this area, we are happy to train you, to coach you, and help you amplify your voice if that is an area that you're interested in. And everything is, of course, at no cost. We have a network that we're constantly working with partners such as CIELO, where we're sharing material that is going to support our small business owners. And that is where education comes in. That's where I come in. So basically, I meet with small business owners, I screen them, and there's 2 things that come out of that. Either I will plug you in to the resources that are available to you, or I will identify trends and create programming around it. So for example, if there is a group of 10 small business owners that I have met back to back, and they're all saying, I'm a pop-up vendor, and that is where I create program and utilize my visual merchandising experience to create a cohort program. I believe I see a couple people in here that were actually part of my visual merchandising program. So that's just an idea of what we do here at Small Business Majority. So if you ever have any questions, please feel free to get in contact with us. Again, we're more of a resource center and plug you into the resources to help you thrive. So now let's get into this presentation. Let me just make sure. Yeah, let's get into this presentation about how inventory could actually help you with your cash flow. And if you have any questions, go ahead and enter them into the chat box, and I'll try to get to them as much as I can. But for the sake of time, I will try to go through this and save the questions towards the end. But if your question is very great and cannot wait to the very end, then go ahead and add in the chat and I'll try to address it. I just do ask to keep it very general. And if it's more personalized, we can always take those conversations off the presentation. So having a good understanding of your inventory could actually help you manage your cash flow. And that is because that helps you make informed business decisions and optimize your operations and maximize your inventories and increase those profits. I've heard, I hate to use her as an example because I don't mean any ill intention, but my mother was a small business owner. And I remember when we were trying to get into this business world, right? This is my memories when we were younger. And she was trying to get inventory. She will tell her suppliers, oh, give me 3 of those, give me 5 of those, give me 6 of those. Even as a little girl, I'm like, wait, why do you need 6 of those and why do you need 3 of those? And it was just because, you know, she had no experience. But if we were to put intention to it, it will make the difference. How? It will help you avoid overstock. It almost reminds me of those who have a shopping alcoholic shopaholic, shopaholic experience, right? Or that problem where we love to purchase items because they're on sale, and then you look at your closet, you're like, oh, I already had a shirt that looked like it. So it's gonna avoid overstock. So if you have too much inventory on hand, it can help you tie up your cash, leaving you with less money available for other expenses that could actually make you more sales. Also, you can reduce stock. You'll see when something is not really selling, so maybe there is no need to continue to purchase of the same item. Optimizing your prices. It also helps you understand how to price your products. You may notice that a certain item is selling a little bit faster than the other one. So it might mean that if something is not selling as quickly as you would like, then you may want to consider lowering the price. But if you were to lower the price, will it hurt you? And if you have another product that is in demand, that's where we may want to consider raising the price to maximize the profits. And now, I try to incorporate examples into this presentation for both product and services. So hopefully it makes sense towards your business. So inventory. New season usually means out with the old and in with the new, right? And it's very common for big chains stores to get rid of the old inventory. We see the big chain stores that automatically, if Halloween or St. Patrick's Day or whatever holiday is happening is over today, it's automatically 50% off tomorrow. But of course, as a small business, we don't have that luxury, right? As a small business, this may not be within your capacity. The problem also doesn't necessarily have to be the product itself. And then in this webinar, I'm actually going to show you how to use that one particular item and that you can't seem to sell or that is left over from the holidays and apply some strategic marketing or even product positioning. Oh, my goodness. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. Let me stop sharing here.
It's all right, Jessica. It happens to all of us at some point.
I've been doing so many webinars forever. Okay, let's see. Oh my goodness. While I'm trying to get this up, is there any questions that I can get to?
Yes. You want us to say it or you want us to type it in?
You can go ahead and say it.
So if we were part of the first program that we just ended on Tuesday, do we automatically get accepted in this program? Or do we have to reapply for this program?
No, Keisha. So what Keisha's referring to is over at Small Business Majority, I have a cohort program that Keisha was wonderfully a part of it, and it just came to an end. This is just a one-time webinar, Keisha. So you do not need to sign up for anything. So the information that I'm providing you with right now is just a one-time.
No, I mean in the CIELO program, do we have to apply for it or do we automatically get enrolled in it?
Oh, I see. Alex, I think that's a
Yeah.
question for you.
Yeah, for that one, you would just need to register if you were interested in joining our startup program, which is just a training program, the one I had mentioned. So that starts April 23rd. But yeah, there is a registration link in the chat if you were interested in joining that one.
Keisha, I actually saw that you registered today. I've been looking at people registering and I actually saw that you went through. So if you have any other questions about that, I'll put my email in the chat and you can reach out to me, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, so I got it back. I apologize for that. It just like magically disappeared for some reason. Let's see. All right, and Alex is my witness here that I've been doing this for quite a while. Can you see my screen now, Alex?
Yes, I can.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so I apologize once again. So again, let's not get rid of our products. Let's find ways that you could utilize your current inventory and then see how we could increase the sales to what you already have. So one of the things that you want to consider if you have a team, even if you don't have a team, you can do this by yourself, right? This is where the inventory comes in. This is where you're educating what is it that you have already that we can improve. So one of the things that I actually used to do at these big chain stores when I was a visual merchandiser is I would actually, one, run reports to see where is it that my sales were selling, what they were not selling, and I would actually make my whole entire team walk the store with me to educate them about the current inventory. I would pick their brains. Do you see what's selling, what's not selling, what can we improve? Because when you start educating your team, you know, your team has different motivators as to why they work for you. Maybe they're just going to work just to work. But if you let them know, hey, we have new stock on this product, can we focus more on this item, or these are not selling, is there any way that we can be strategic about it or creative? Refresh old inventory and apply visual merchandising. So for example, one of the examples that I was giving out before is, let's say you are a fashion boutique store, right? And I'm going to try to be provide different types of examples, but let's say in this case in particular, you are a fashion boutique store, you bought red dresses for Christmas, and you sold maybe 50% of them, but you still got left over another 50. Well, after Christmas, what's the next holiday? It's Valentine's Day. So if you were to just hold on to those dresses, put them away and pull them back out when it comes around Valentine's, so you could restyle them and refresh them, right? So in the Christmas season, you may put like a little coat over it, a scarf, and then this time around, you give it more of like those dinner romantic vibes. Apply creative sales. I'll go over that. I'm going to go over selling on third-party platforms. I'm also going to talk a little bit about donations, and I will talk about modifications that you could potentially make on your products. So again, what is the role of your sales customer service employees? Get them excited about your product, Keep them informed on what are your best sellers, what are your zero selling products, what's overstock, what are the price points. Maybe sometimes, believe it or not, the price points play a huge role in where you're positioning your products, right? So if you think about it, if you go to Marshall's, if you go to TJ Maxx or any of those stores, even the grocery stores, when you're waiting in line to pay, there's nothing over $5. Sometimes there's like $10 items. I've already seen that, but there's nothing under $5. I mean, over $5, because these are supposed to be considered impulsive buys. In one of the stores that I actually used to work at, the dollar area or the line area actually made up 30% of our sales. That's a huge number. So you have to be very strategic too of what your items cost and where you're positioning them. Walk through your inventory and identify any products that may be nearing their expiration date amongst your employee too. So if you're selling food, right, and they're about to come into an expiration, this is something crucial that you need to keep in mind. What can you do to be able to bring up the sales or get them out of your hands as quickly as possible before they expired? And I know this is retail and this may not apply to you, but even stores that sell milk products, guess what they do? Let's talk about gallons of milks in particular. If they were to get a new inventory or a new set of milk, even though they already had some on hand, they're going to push all the expiration ones that are coming sooner to an end all the way to the front. And they put the newer milks at the back because it's going to force customers to grab the first milk, the first gallon of milk and put it in their cart. So because I come from this world, you see me, when it comes to shopping for milk, I always grab the one at the very back to give me a little bit more cushion for my own refrigerator. So remember, some of your merchandise may need a little bit more attention, more TLC. And refreshing your inventory by applying visual merchandising. So visual merchandising is an element of marketing, and it's a design and display of merchandise to create pleasing shopping experience for customers. Visual merchandising influences customers to want your product, and it also is known as silent selling. Remember, it's not about making things look pretty. From now on, if this has been your case, from now on, I want you to set up your tables. I want you to set up your displays with an intention. It's not just about making things pretty. It's about strategizing and planning something behind the scenes. I'll take some questions right now if there's any. Okay, I don't see any questions. No questions. Okay, awesome. So I'll keep going. So let me talk a little bit about product positioning. This is where I said you have to be careful on the price points, on where you're setting your items, right? But also, another thing that you may want to consider is creating a story. If you go into, actually, let me do a little game here. Well, not necessarily a game, but if you were to go to Kia, I think, is it called IKEA? I'm sorry. If you were to go to IKEA, the furniture store, for those that have been there, tell me how this store makes you feel. If you could put it in the chat box really quick. If you were to go to the IKEA store, or let's even say a furniture store, how does it make you feel? Creative and hopeful. Yes, Krista, creative and hopeful. This is what IKEA does to me. That's why I wanted to bring up IKEA in particular. Inspired, motivated. Yes, every time that I go to IKEA, I'm like, this is how I want my kitchen. Alex, yes, that is the whole strategy. They're doing this to make you feel inspired to spend. But then Lisette also said it makes you feel overwhelmed with options. And I'm very glad that you said that, Lisette, because that is where the product positioning comes in and play. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about that too. When you're giving your customers too many products to choose from, it overwhelms them. That's how I feel with food menus. Whenever I go to restaurants, I want a few options. I do not want a 10-page menu, because at the end of the day, I don't even end up enjoying what I got, because I wish I would have ordered something else because they gave me that many options. So help your customers navigate through their purchases. And this can go for services too. So for example, you're creating outfits from head to toe. You're laying out products and tools for routines. If there's any ingredients needed for a recipe, this is where Costco gets me all the time. You know, they were selling a little bit of, they were selling packages of alpha grass powder. It's supposed to be very healthy for something. I would have never bought these packages, but they mixed it for me with apple juice and it was delicious. So I ended up buying not only the apple juice, but the powder as well. So give your clients the items, the things, the recipes. If you're selling spices, give them recipes on how they could actually utilize your spices when creating that recipe. Okay, so here's a little bit more about visual merchandising and services in general, grouping and symmetry, the rule of three. So it is said that our brains are wired to remember things in patterns of three. It catches customers' attention and it gives customers a nice balance of options to choose without overwhelming them, just like Lisette said. So when it comes to services, you may want to create packages of three. You may want to create services of three. There's so many ways to go about this. You can also mix your old inventory with your new inventory for a fresh inventory, right? So you can, if you're selling spices and there's a spice that it's kind of like not really moving, how can you mix that new spice with the older spice to create something fresh? The rule of three could include mannequins, racks, product displays, package bundles. And if we were looking at this picture in particular, we see that, again, there is a set of three mannequins here. It just depends on how do you want to look about it, but we can create directions in three different ways. Be creative with your products or service. So styling one item in multiple ways is a great way to showcase the versatility of the item and provide inspiration for customers on how to wear it. So here are some tips on how you could be creative on styling just one item. So if we're talking about diversifying your products, you can create different looks using the same item, or you can create different recipes using the same ingredient. If you're trying to diversify your services, you may want to introduce new product or services that complement your existing offerings. So for example, a fitness studio could offer nutrition counseling services, while a clothing retail store could offer personal styling, or a spa could offer massage therapy services. I get my eyebrows threaded. This is my beauty routine. This is what I do. And they actually started offering head massages and like face massages. And I was like, I know what they're doing and it's very smart. And yes, I fell for it. So yes, I did get my eyebrows done. And yes, I did get my facial massages while I was there. So think about ways that if you need to add a new service or combine two different services, how can they complement each other? And again, if you are, I know that coaching right now is very popular. So if you are a coach, maybe try to do in-person training offers as well as virtual offers, because you're catering to two different markets. One, two, you're also giving flexibility to your customers. So by being creative with your products and services in multiple ways, you can showcase versatility and flexibility to, again, reach more customers. Call to action sales. These are so popular when it comes to retail stores, and I think you should use them as well. These sales create a sense of urgency and encourage customers to take action immediately, which can help increase sales. Make sure that you use them in your marketing material signage, such as emails, social media posts, advertisements, and create a sense of excitement and urgency around your sales event. I feel so mean saying this, but when I used to work at these retail stores and I would hear, because I like to listen to my surroundings. In Spanish, I would say I'm a little chismosa. But what I was listening to is the panic from these customers. They would say, "Oh my God, today is the end of the sales," not knowing that next week, or I'm sorry, the next day, we would have a new sale. So for example, one of these department stores that I used to work at, they had a new sale every Sunday. So every Sunday there was a new sale. But check this out. This week it was buy one, get one free. Next week would be everything 50%. Those are the exact same sale, but it just worded differently. So just be strategic of the words that you're using. If you need to create a calendar with actual sales, I would do that. And there's different types of ways that you can come up with these sales. So if you do have old inventory, right? Because this is the whole purpose of this presentation. If you do have old inventory, some of the sales that you can come up with this is spend an X amount of dollars and get a discount on a product or even a free product, right? So if you were to spend an X amount of dollars, you get one item free. You were going to get rid of it anyways, so might as well add excitement to it by making them spend more money to give them that free item. Again, the BOGO sales, buy one, get one, right? So if they were to buy one top, you can give them the other top free. You could even add free shipping with a purchase of an item. You can do $5 for the item with any purchase. So again, these are not regular sales or general sales. I'm telling you to focus on that one item that is not selling. This is how you can apply those sales, right? You could even make that sell, bringing back the red dress. If you already tried everything you could and you're still not selling that dress, make a deal of the day or call it limited stock available, right? Because in other words, you are limited. You don't have that many items, so you can call it a limited stock sell or limited stock available. So just find ways on how you can play around with that product or service before you get.
Careful, Teddy.
I'm sorry?
It was just someone that unmuted, but it's okay.
Oh, okay. So again, just be creative with your sales names. We can come up with clear the rack sale, Flash Friday for short-term one-day sale event. There's the holiday themed sales that you can create excitement and urgency around your promotions. What's going on right now? What holidays around right now, such as Cyber Monday, New Year, New You, Back to School Bash. All of these things are very important because you're implementing that sell and that need and that urgency to your small business. I mean, to your customers. Something that I've seen before and I thought it was pretty creative is the happy hour sale for sale that occurs during a specific time of day. This maybe could be around the time that it's slow. I've actually encouraged someone before when I provided technical support, like if they didn't have that much traffic, this is what the restaurants do, right? They have happy hour because usually around that time is when the traffic starts dying for them. So I would incorporate it as well, even if it's not a restaurant. There's also called a good, you can also have goodbye items. This is a way of telling your customers that the items are limited and they're not coming back. So this is their only chance to be able to buy your product. Having items by the cash register. This one was my favorite when I worked at Nordstrom Rack. So Nordstrom, I'm sorry, not Nordstrom, the actual Nordstrom store. So I used to work at Nordstrom before, and as an employee, it was sales-based. What that means, or commission-based. So what that means is my check depended on how many sales I would make. So of course, I try to get strategic and try to find ways to be able to increase my sales. And one way of doing that is in the when I worked at Nordstrom, I worked in the sleep department, in the pajama department. So around the holidays, I love to go shopping myself, but I bring a box full of socks, cashmere socks to be more exact. And I would put them by the cash register. So I knew that these people were shopping for pajamas for their loved ones for Christmas. So I would always make that question towards the very end. Would you like to incorporate socks to your pajamas? And I would always get this remark of, oh, I didn't think of that. Or yes, that would be nice. So by placing, again, low cost items compared to the regular dollar amount that your store or your services or your products are, could be a way to impulse and increase sales. So displaying related or complementary products, such as if you're a guitar, if you fix guitars for a living or you sell guitars, you can put guitar picks near the cash register. Or you can remind customers of something that they may have forgotten or may have not realized they needed it. So for example, Father's Day, you may want to bring, if you go to these retail stores, you're going to see that there's a lot of like, you're the best #1 dad mugs, and you'll see ties, and you'll see socks, anything that a dad will like, because these again are reminders like, oh my goodness, it's Father's Day. I need to create a basket, or I need to create a gift for whoever they're purchasing the item from. All right. Any questions? And you can add the questions. I'll stop once in a while and I'll get to them. But if you don't have any questions, I can keep going. No questions. Okay. Creating bundles. By offering related products or services together at a discounted price, customers are more likely to purchase because they see the value in getting more items for a lower price. When creating bundles, consider the following. Combine your overstock, right? So we're thinking, again, we're talking about that one item that is not selling for you. So combine your overstock, or that item that is not selling with some of your newer trendy items. Determine the discount. Offer a discount that makes the bundle deal attractive to customers, but still profitable for your business. So obviously we don't want you to lose money. Also, when you say an item is $20 versus $19.99, like that, there's psychology to that. That's why we see everywhere that everything is $12.99, $11.99. I've seen even like discount, like I've even seen coaching programs that are $5,777 because they're trying to get away from you seeing a full amount. create a bundle name, create catchy names for the bundle to make it more memorable. And don't forget to monitor the performance. That is the whole intention when creating these bundles, right? We're not doing things just because. We're doing it with the purpose. So make sure that you're monitoring how well it moved and what is it that was catching the person's attention from creating this bundle. Was it a particular item in there that was the reason why that product sold? Will you share the copy of the presentation? Yes, I will. So this presentation will be given to CIELO, and I believe CIELO said they will share it with you. Selling on third-party platforms. So you can reach a wider audience and generate revenue from your old inventory by selling third-party platform. So choosing the right platform and optimizing your listing is important to ensure that your products stand out and attract potential buyers. Some examples of third-party platforms are consignment stores, Poshmark, Depop, Mercari, OfferUp, eBay, Amazon. There are so many different ways that you can sell your items on third-party platforms to at least give you a little bit of that money for the product. Okay. Let's say nothing worked, or you got it from 100 units to 30 units and you just are tired. I don't want this product anymore. I don't want to see it. Now let's consider donations. Donating old inventory can be a great way for you to maximize your old inventory while also making a positive impact in your community. Here are some of the benefits of donating your product. It goes to a great cause. So donating to a charity or nonprofit organization can help support a cause that you and your customers care about, such as helping those in need of supporting your environment. Let's say you don't want, I see that Dollar Tree does this a lot, right? Like you go to the store and they have a pile of toys and they'll tell you choose a toy and we'll donate it. So that's another, not only are you donating, but you're involving your customers to donate as well. Tax deduction. If you do donations, it could be tax deducted. Donating to qualified nonprofit organizations can also provide a tax deduction, which I just mentioned right now. It can help you reduce your taxable income and save money on taxes. I just provided the example of involving your customers, and it's just positive marketing. Donating can also provide marketing opportunities for your business, as you can highlight on your charitable efforts and show that you care more than just making a profit, right? So this is where social media can play a big role. And you can say, buy one, we donate one, or make a purchase and we will donate something to a charity of your choice. It just depends what is the product and how you're going about it. But let's not just get rid of the inventory. If we don't want the item anymore, let's consider donations. Giveaways. If you have items, or this is another good way to market yourself, using old inventory on giveaways can be a great way to promote your business and engage with your audience. If you're hosting a giveaway, it can help with the following. It can help with, of course, brand awareness and social media following. Also, it will give you the opportunities for user-generated content. You can encourage participants to create user-generated content such as photos or videos featuring your products or services, which can help showcase your brand and provide social proof. Generate leads. Giveaway also can be used as an opportunity to generate leads by collecting email addresses and other contact information from your participants. So here's a little bit more on the extreme side, and if you have the capacity to do it, making product modifications. So if you have the ability of modifying your products, this is a perfect example from an actual company called Wheezy. So if you can see, they sell robes, right? And they have different patterns. And when it comes to a hotter season, they modify it by cutting off the sleeves and the length. Some examples are a clothing store altering the length and fit of the clothing items, such as removing pockets, removing zippers, adding zippers. If you pay close attention to these big chain stores, they do this themselves. They do it too. I buy a lot of clothing for my son from these big chain stores for my toddler. And I'm like, hey, he already had this shirt, but now it's long sleeve. So why not do it yourself if you have the capacity to do it? A furniture store can offer customized options. So if you're already going to get rid of it, like why not offer the option of customizing it for them by doing wood finishes, hardware to match customers' preferences. If you're a sandwich shop, you can use the same fillings to create a wrap or a salad, right? How many ways can you use a tortilla type of thing? Inventory methods. So there's different ways that you can keep inventory, and I think that this is based on the capacity of the small business owner that you are. You can do manual inventory tracking. That seems to be that seems to be very common with my startups, right? Doing manual inventory. Everything has its pros and cons. Obviously, this method is very inexpensive, but it's also potential to do errors. There's barcode scanning barcodes on products to track inventory level, sales, and purchases. I know that this is offered when you use such as Square or Apple or any of those type of hardwares that you use to take payments for your business. There's also the RFID tags that can be attached to the product to track inventory levels. I think this is a little bit more advanced, but it is very common with big retail stores like Target and Walmart. This is where you'll see like that it looks like almost like a chip on the tags, and this is the way that they keep inventory. Fun fact, when I worked at Target, the RFID rolled out and I literally had to go buy. I touched every single product in the store to make sure that they had this tag. So then eventually they can come up with their little magic wand. If you see them going with a little gun around the store, that's what they're doing. They're taking inventory. So again, the point of sale, such as Square, Shopify, and Toast, are a good way to track your inventory. There's also cloud-based inventory management software. These are all different ways that you can keep track of your sales and your inventory. But I created here an example if you want to either create an Excel spreadsheet or do it by hand. In this worksheet, you can list the names and codes of each product. It's important that it's just easier for you to be able to keep inventory of what's selling or what's not selling, or even creating a goal for yourself. I want to make X amount of dollars by the end of the month. If so, I need to sell at least 3 product A's and 5 product D's. This will allow you to keep track of how much each product you have on hand and compare it to the quantities to see how much inventory has been sold or added. You can customize this worksheet by adding additional columns for other information that you may want to track, such as the cost of each item, the date of inventory. You can also use formulas to automatically calculate totals to generate reports based on your data that you have entered. Another thing that I like to share with you is when during the pandemic, I actually became unemployed, and I sold a lot of my old items from my closet into this platform called Poshmark. And I got so good at it and I was selling so much that I, whenever I would sell something, I would have to go look through all these bags. And I actually created myself a little inventory system. So basically what I did is I folded the item, and then in the listing, I would put A1, A2, A3. So whenever the item did sell for me and I saw that it was $8.50, then I can go into my bucket and just quickly look under $8.50 and pull the item very quickly. So that's where I'm like, okay, inventory is my best friend. Here's inventory management, another inventory management. You can customize this worksheet by adding additional columns for your details if you want to keep track of, such as the supplier. Sometimes the suppliers can cost you more, unit cost, or the location of the item. This is the example that I just gave you about the Poshmark. You can also use, again, formulas to calculate everything. But if you are more in the food industry, right, something that is going to be very important for you is the purchase date, the expiration date. So this is why inventory comes in handy. If you are a service-based business, again, you're setting yourself goals, right? If you're selling a service and not necessarily a tangible item, you can say, all right, under my cleaning, there's cleaning, IT, marketing, accounting. You can say the availability, not available, the description, when you last updated that, in what type of sales you have offered in the past, what sold well for you, what didn't. Just having a visual really works when it comes to your planning in the future. And that's pretty much it. I do have the Excel sheets along with this, but before I even touch on that really quickly, let me tell you about venturize.org. So I'm switching gears really quickly here. Venturize.org is a platform that Small Business Majority utilizes to make your life a little bit easier when it comes to finding any resources. So all you have to do is type in your zip code and it will pull up any programs or any lenders or any organizations when it comes to small business marketing, legal licensing, available to you. Again, you just type in your zip code and it will pull up those locations. All these organizations that do pop up have been pre-screened by us, and we make sure that they are low cost or no cost to you. I do want to encourage you to join our mailing list. We are constantly providing updates on any upcoming events as well as grants from our partners. And that's pretty much it. I am here available to you. I cover all of Southern California, so it doesn't matter if you live in LA County, Orange County, San Diego, Palm Springs. I am here to help you. And so I will leave you my QR code along with the presentation with CIELO to get in contact with me if you have any questions. Here is the presentation, the spreadsheets examples that you can utilize if you need any, if you want to get started in using spreadsheets. That's it. I know it was a loaded presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Jessica, you also have like a comment/question from Keisha
Okay.
that said about the third-party platforms, about the percentage charged to use the platform for selling your product.
Yes, Keisha, that is a really great point. I remember when I used to start, when I was selling over on Poshmark, the percentage that they would take was like 15%, and now it's like a crazy 25-30%. So do be mindful of that. So I'm very happy that you brought that up. If you're willing to take that hit, but trying to get rid of your inventory is a good way. But yes, be sure that when you are going into these platforms that you can take that into consideration.
Thank you. Any other questions? We're going to be sharing the slides with you because you registered for this event. So our team will be sharing those slides with you, so you don't necessarily need to make a direct contact unless you want to share your direct contact, Jessica. I think it's on the slides as well, but
Yes.
we'll share it out.
Yeah, I'll put my email on here really quick,
Okay.
just in case. This is the best way to get in contact with me. But yeah, we'll share the I don't even know where I work. Give me 1 second. There we go. Yes, my email is in the chat box area. So if you need to reach out to me, I am more than happy to support you. Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jessica, for sharing your expertise with us. This is a great workshop and one that we really don't go into much detail here at CIELO. So it's good to just, have you come here and present. And a lot of, we do work with a lot of business owners that could definitely find this information useful. So, and for those of you who are just hearing about Small Business Majority for the first time, definitely go and follow them. And they have a lot of great workshops. Jessica's all over the place. She is doing a lot of educational things here, there, and running a lot of great cohorts and workshops. So definitely follow them, follow us if you haven't already. And other than that, hope you all found a lot of good use out of this information. And we will see you all at our next one if we don't see you earlier.
Hey, Alex, can we take a picture first before everyone leaves?
Yeah.
All right, and if whoever can you turn on your video so I can take a picture for our social media if you're able to? I would love to see your lovely faces so we can get a picture going.
Good call, Lisa.
Yes. All right, you ready? All right. Okay, I think I see a couple. Okay, that's good enough. All right, ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you all soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.